And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be going straight into patch 2.3, which launched literally 3 minutes ago. So I'm not going to look at anything else that's changed in the game, just going straight into the main story. So let's see. So I'm back at the Rising Stones here in Mordona, and I need to talk to Minfilia. So the quest is called The Great Divide. Minfilia's thoughts keep returning to the fate of the students of Baldician. So our friends, the very isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us naught to speculate. Urianga will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns Aether fluctuations which had previously attributed to good King Mogulmog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the Twelves Wood. Our latest reading revealed an ongoing aspheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilla, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? This is Minfilia's mum, in case... Actually, no, it's not what I'm talking about. She's someone else. A band of refugees hailing from Uldar this time come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Dormants. At present they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asili, you know very well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Mithrie, I should be grateful of your presence at this meeting. Okay, so now we need to go to see the refugees in Mordona. Now, Revenant's Toll has received a little bit of a makeover yet again, so we'll go out now and we'll see what changes have been made. Because there's not many people here. Oh, actually there's plenty, what I'm talking about. Anyway, so here we go, here's a refugee. These random quests started around here are actually to unlock the new hard modes, which I'll do in another video. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. 12 be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domers. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray and calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. I hope they're not Garleans in disguise. Beg your pardon, Antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Uldar for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one who took. They say there's work, but there's naught for an honest man, naught as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where, and then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was a product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity, and so it is with great regret I must deny your request. But we have nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word? Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill findings from Uldar, my lady. Alphinode has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the Flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. Yeah, this cannot be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells. Now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady. We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphinode and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Yida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphinode is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Mithrie. Yeah, so it's not really a good idea to just trust any random people who comes and asks for help. There has to be some sort of screening, and I think that's what's happening here, because we don't know who those refugees really are. So just going straight now to Uldar. I need to go straight to the Adventurers Guild, so A for right, A for net, Adventurers Guild to save time of the running. Which for regular viewers of my videos will know that's a big mistake I used to make a lot before, just constantly running from the crystal to here for no reason. Okay, here's Alphinode.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Uldar, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Uldar is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Uldan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Uldan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the immortal flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Okay, let's complete that quest. So now the next quest is called Desperate Times. Alpha Node wishes to investigate the circumstances surrounding the riot. So as I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. I have piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames. I would hear what Lord Roban has to say upon the matter. Okay, so let's go to the Hall of Flames. So I'm going to just teleport back to the FFXIV Plaza. This is the teleport closest to it. I guess a lot of people are now racing to get the to get Ramu unlocked, so they can do it ASAP and work on the extreme mode. Here is Roban. So now is not a good time, Mithrie. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alpha Node, back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. Basically surgeons, I guess, maybe. My memories of the riots are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation. Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Fanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out what the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnable elusive. I can well imagine, given the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they know the lie of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little incident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with military weaponry. Martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Dolmens were turned away, but would the motive of a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that the powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is the first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim without necessary proof that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Mithrie. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harbouring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I've no doubt you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I meanwhile shall seek answers on my own, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to talk to Swift. So, you look as though you have something to say, Mithrie, do you? What you ask is no simple favour. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well, the Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin speaking to the Blades posted there. Okay, so I need to go to the Lost Hope, which is in central Fanaland, next to Blackbrush Station. What you can now do with the map, as of the last patch, you can just click on the A-Fry and teleport straight there without having to select it from your teleport list, which is, I think, a very good idea, because as you see there, I'm just able to click on it without having to think about where it is. So I've seen these people around here for a long time, but there wasn't any quest related to them. So let's see what they have to say. So Amal Berger says, what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well then, you've come to the right place. You mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation and are content to pass the days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently, a gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated, but can't say I was sad to see him go. Okay. And then Leo Frick says, a friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zaza Waka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind, speak with Zazawaka, he will explain everything. Okay, so let's now go talk to Zazawaka, who's just back here. Can't actually tell if these are new places. There's a random new quest dotted around that I need to investigate at some point. So, don't hurt me, I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face, are you not the woman from the Church of Saint Adama Lamdama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of those folks who have been tormenting us. If Leo Frick bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. Trolls be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account, taking that which is owed. Ha, a childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized he is by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words, beyond the fact that he was alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that Merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. Okay. There's a refugee. So, what are you doing? Don't draw, don't draw, don't draw, don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? You could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me, be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Okay, so obviously we're going to soothe him. Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true, I followed the merchant and made the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing, and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... oh god, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. Okay, let's complete that quest. So the next quest is called Shock and Awe. So the terrified refugee would have you find his brethren and convince them to lay down their arms, and you can choose some random potions. So the other refugees have been hiding in the cave south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultaness and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to the deeds themselves. A pox on all the bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had listened to the merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous and that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Okay, so now we're going to go to the other refugees right here. Let's see if I have to just go through the cave, maybe. Cool. So here's a desperate refugee. So, 7 hells, they found us. Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So, that's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Okay, so let's do this. Challenge. Okay. So you beat him like it was nothing. That, Father Almighty, what are we going to do now? Okay, so now we're going to go back. So, I still relied on the good old run in a circle method when my health was starting to get low. Really should keep potions more on my list. Just in case, because I use second wind, but it might not have been enough if there weren't people around to help. So I could have kept running circles forever. So you returned. Did you find my brethren? What were, of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better than a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Then, what else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? As I recall, he wished to approach the refugees there as well, but he was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity, and now they have. There's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in this pursuit of futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to seize his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Okay, so we're going to search for the merchant down here. It might actually be quicker for me to just teleport back to Uldar and then go straight out again. So that's not Uldar. Uldar, here we go. Right, so Aetheryte, Aethernet. Central Fanalan. Okay. So, have you seen my parents? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Uldar. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so that we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry and I got scared. Lots of people left with the man after that and no one's come back. Okay, so let's report back to Swift. So... So once the story quest is done, later on I'm going to be looking at the new Hildebrand quest, front lines, daily hunts. There's so many new features in 2.3 to cover. So welcome back, Mithrie. Have you learned aught of interest? You persuaded a gang of refugees to lay down their arms. The Flame General will be pleased to learn of this. Less so these other revelations. We must apprehend this treacherous snake at once. Okay, so I'll just take some elixirs. So the next quest is called Reap the Whirlwind. So it says Swift is determined to stop the rabble-rousing merchant from sowing further sedition. So this merchant has not only publicly incited sedition within the Sultanate, but gone so far as to provide material support to would-be belligerents. It galls me that his role in the uprising should have escaped our notice for so long, yet I can well imagine why it did. Rightly or wrongly, those with whom he consorts do not trust us. Alas, trust is not easily gained, even in times of peace. We must nevertheless try, for I believe it is only with the cooperation of the refugees that we will catch our quarry. And so I would have you continue your investigation in Pearl Lane. We know that the merchant sought to recruit the people of Lost Hope and Stone's Throw, so it seems reasonable to assume that he may have approached the residents of Pearl Lane as well. After all, the first riots occurred within the city itself. Most if not all, will refuse to discuss this subject with you, but there is one who may be willing to do so, a man named Landebert. He too has his misgivings about us, but I believe he understands that these riots do little to further his people's cause. Okay, so let's go talk to him in Pearl Lane. So quickest teleport is to... yeah, we could just go to the Adventurers Guild again and cross the zone line. So, even though I am kind of speeding through the story mode, I am at least reading all the quest out, so I am absorbing the story as I go along. Some people, when they speed through the story, they just skip through all the text as well, and that's when you miss out, really. The story is very interesting, very intriguing. I'm always interested to find out more. Okay, here's Landebert. So, first comes a man with promise of the deliverance. Seen your suffering firsthand and will bear it no longer, says he. Your friend, your ally, your comrade in arms. Take his hand and he will guide you to a better tomorrow. Then comes a soldier with the promise of justice. Follow the man who came before at your peril, says she, for they who sow the wind shall reap the whirlwind. The man's no saint, any fool can see that. We're but tools for his task, to be used and discarded. As for this soldier, she thinks only of her mission. She's more honest than the man, but every bit as ruthless, make no mistake. With whom shall I cast my lot? Neither, says I, for as far as I'm concerned, you're no better than the bastard you pursue. Now the soldier is thinking how else she might get what she wants. She's tried the diplomatic approach and failed. Mayhap a firmer hand is needed. Mayhap she needs to make an example out of this Alamegan scum she did those 5 fools from Lost Hope. Well, you'll get no justification from me, soldier. If that's what you're waiting for, I'll not raise a hand against you. But neither will I lend a hand to help you. Not that it makes any difference, Path. The gods seem bent on granting your every bloody wish. There you are, Lambert. Have you given any thought to my proposal? Okay, that's your answer. There he goes towards the gate of Thal. Go and claim your prize for coin and country. So he is questioning my honor. And yeah, whatever, I like Gil, haha. Cool. It doesn't really matter which gate you go out of, they're both sort of equal distance. So the servers actually came back online 2 hours earlier than they were scheduled to, which is good, because whenever they do like a time for when the servers come back up, that's usually worst case, not best case. Okay, so here's the merchant. You again, why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha. You have no evidence to prove your accusations, none. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. It's like, So, for the sake of arguments, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give Kukirin's arse about politics. It was business, only business. Like, hello. Oh, bow and arrow. Someone's about to be assassinated. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I shall tell you everything. There you go. Good shot. Respect from a fellow bard, lol. What's all the commotion? That's 7 hells. Tell the others to spread and search the area. The killer may still be close. Wasn't me, wasn't me. I don't have a bow on my back, whatever. Okay, let's speak to this guy with this fat chocobo in the way. So hold the adventure up. I will know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Cool. So let's again talk to Swift. Now, the point of doing the story quest so quickly after it being released is just to unlock new content, see the new story and take it in and so on. It's not about, you know, oh, let's do server first. Well, it's nothing to do with that. It's just, you know, the cycle of the patches in the game right now is every 3 to 4 months. So it has been 3 to 4 months since the last time we saw any update for the story. So I welcome it very much. Anyway, so Swift says, what news, Mithrie? Where is the merchant? So murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Mithrie, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair though, we may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realise. Cool, so I'll just take some... Yeah, whatever, I'll just take that. So the next quest is called Revolution. So it says, Swift has a message for you from General Roban. So the Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphanode has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Okay, so let's go to the Royal Promenade. So the quickest way to get there is to go to the Chamber of Rule, Aephorite Crystal. So here we go, Aephorite, Aethernet, the Chamber of Rule. So obviously there's so many people doing the quest. So we've been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. Okay.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the Calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
Front lines, way.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless, bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Oligon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Oligon inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself.
Oh, I just got a tingle in my spine.
Might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon, one which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Oh my god. It's a Omega weapon. Yeek. So here's Alpha Node. So the next quest is called Stories We Tell. Recent revelations weigh heavily on Alpha Node's mind. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was a product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? They may even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be for our best interest to learn some of the military activities in the disputed territories. You are of course a Scion best suited to this task, Lieutenant Mithrie. Do take a moment to visit the Adder's Nest and make inquiries at the earliest available opportunity. Begone, well, this is no place for children. I'm sorry. I was looking for you, miss. People said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? So he visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first, I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by the pillar over there. We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. I'll take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an FFXIV primal, even dealing with a scion would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Mithrie is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for change. So, Mithrie, this is Mithrie. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. The Twelveswood and the primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I have received no reports of Exali activity, which leaves the Sylphs. Now go, Mithrie, you know as well that the appearance of the primals... Oh, I guess we just got a personal room. Of the primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrived, I do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Wondering what that message was. So I guess, yeah, personal private chambers will be something I'll be looking at in a video very soon as well. I have some spare money, so I'll just go ahead and buy it. Okay, so now we need to go straight to Revenant's Toll. I'm really enjoying the story quest so far. There's a lot more people online now, definitely. Okay, here's Mithrie. So, it is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Mithrie. The latest news from Ul'dah was most disturbing. Clearly the only injury Alphanode suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Okay. So, I'll leave it at that. We can do the meeting as the beginning of the next episode. So, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, goodbye from Mithrie, and see you in the next episode for part 2 of the 2.3 story. Goodbye.